All right, Mr. Gray, thank you. For our next question, we're going to turn to Representative Coey.
Thank you, Aaron. Mr. Gray, Wyoming's looming budgetary problems for the next several years appear to be difficult at best. What are your thoughts on how to right-size our state's budget? Do you have long-term strategies, and how does the rainy day fund play into that role?
Okay, this is a great question. One of the things we need to start doing, and when I ran 2 years ago, I was talking about this, is we need to move to a zero-based budgeting system. Right now, what happens is the agencies, they look at what they did over the last 2 years when they submit their initial standard budget, they add 5 to 7%, and that's what they submit. And what happens is you get a budget that's on autopilot. What you need to do is you need to have zero-based budgeting where the agencies start at zero, go line by line, and prioritize their spending, and give that prioritization to the state legislature, so when they're evaluating these budgets, they've seen that prioritization. Zero-based budgeting is a huge part of the solution.
To finish it off, I want to ask, this has arguably been one of the most aggressive primary races here in Natrona County. We're going to start with you, Mr. Gray. Why do you believe you're the right candidate to represent District 57?
Well, I am a conservative. I've been a Republican, a genuine Republican, my entire life, whether it's been easy or difficult, whether in college it affected my grades or whether, or now I'm running as a Republican. My opponent just switched in 2014 when he was recruited by insiders to run in this primary and supported Obama in 2012. I am a constitutional conservative who believes in controlling our budget. In 2014, when I ran, I was talking about that fact, that I thought that we were on a bad path. Even if the boom continued on a 10-year trend line, it was clear that we had solvency issues, and then 3 months after the primary, the boom went bust. And now these same politicians that were saying everything was okay are talking about tax increases. So we have to have people that look in the long term, and that's why I think I'm good for House District 57.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gray. Mr. Pacheco, same question.
Sure. You know, I mean, a lot of it has been made of that, and number one, I didn't support Barack Obama, and so I'm going to say that emphatically.
Oh,
number two, I've always been a conservative Democrat. I've always been proud of that, been pro-life, pro-family, so I stand behind that. I've always been that person. So what makes me qualified for this? Number one is I've been a lifelong resident, and that is a very important aspect.
Why?
I was born and raised in House District 57. I understand the people of House District 57. I understand the people of Wyoming, and I understand Wyoming values. That's something that was taught to me by my parents: principles, integrity, and hard work. And that's exactly what House District 57 needs. And we need conservative values, but we need common sense conservative values, especially in the Wyoming State Legislature.
Aaron, I need to respond.
We have 20 seconds for a closing statement coming up.
He talked about me. I have to respond to that. First of all, on my website, it's clear on Facebook where Mr. Pacheco said he was on this committee supporting Obama. Second of all, my parents were divorced at a young age, and I spent my summers here in Wyoming. As soon as I left college, I was able to obtain a job here, and I loved Wyoming from the start. And right, for Mr. Pacheco,
Mr. Gray, we're going to have to move on. We have our closing statements coming up right now, and Mr. Pacheco, we're going to start with you. 20 seconds.
You know, being a lifelong resident and being born and raised here, and raising my family, I know about what it takes. And the issues that are important for families here, and I understand those values. I understand the issues that affect the people of House District 57. I understand the Wyoming way. It's about character, it's about integrity, and I also know that running for office is difficult. I also know representing people, and so the experience that I bring from City Council, being able to work with other City Council members is important, and that's very important for us, and we'll continue.
Except he forgot to tell you, this is his first seat is City Council. He's only been there 2 years of a 4-year term. He's trying to move up. God only knows why. Somebody buttered his bread somewhere is all I can figure. He's insecure. He doesn't know the issues. I believe the Republican establishment is pushing for him because Chuck Gray is dangerous to, like Trump is to Hillary. It's like oil and water. You can choose the good guys, or you can choose the not so good guys. This is up to you guys. You really, really need to pay attention. You can't do much on the federal level. Leave that to us big boys out here. But you sure can change things on the local level. And you don't want this guy anywhere near legislation.
To do that if elected.
All right. Mr. Gray, closing statement.
I want to unpack a little bit Mr. Pacheco's statement that if someone after college, their job after college, they decide to move here under the Pacheco standard, they're not qualified for office. Is that really Wyoming values? What percentage of the people at home are disqualified? I'm a conservative. I have Wyoming values, and so it would be one thing if I was bringing if there were values that I had that weren't of Wyoming, but I've been a constitutional conservative my entire life. And I really think it isn't the Wyoming way to exclude people in violation of our constitutional standard and say somebody after college makes a decision that they love Wyoming because they spent part of their youth here, and according to the Pacheco standard, they're not qualified. I believe in the Wyoming way.
All right, well, candidates, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us on this live debate here for House District 57 moderators. Thank you so much as well. And we're back.